Thank you. Two quick questions. The first is to one of the earlier speakers who talked about seed dressings being used in Italy. I didn't see right at the beginning what those seed dressings were, but it was, apparently they were doing nothing whatsoever for the farmer, according to the trials. And this is obviously quite unusual, because normally farmers buy seed dressings because they believe they will protect them from something. And I can tell you that in the UK, the real concern about losing the neonicotinoids on the non-flowering crops or on cereal crops, the farmers are convinced that if they can't use these products, they simply won't get a reliable crop. So I wondered if you could just expand on that a little bit. Why are these farmers using seed dressings that are apparently absolutely useless? And just the second question to Norman Carreck. Very interesting to hear you speak. And perhaps you could answer the question I asked in the last session, in that Ukraine and China appear to be getting along fine. They're exporting honey to the European Union. Their agriculture is perhaps a little bit more basic than Europe's agriculture. But the United States is exporting honey to Europe, where their agriculture is very intensive. But what is going wrong with Europe, the bees in Europe? This is what I can't get to the bottom of.
In terms of the question of what is wrong with European apiculture and why seemingly it's not competitive with China or Ukraine, I think a huge amount of that has to do with the cost of production. And manpower costs in Europe are very much greater than they are in China. And I mean, it's certainly the case that the world price for honey is far below what it is in Europe. And I mean, in Britain, beekeepers have, I think, managed to persuade the consumers that British honey is a premium product that will command a premium price. And so, you know, British honey does command a premium price, and all British honey gets consumed in Britain, but we also import a lot. And your cheap supermarket honey that's, you know, a fraction of the price of British honey will be mainly Chinese honey.
I have prepared a small talk which will answer all the questions that you made me. What about the dressed seeds? Why the growers use dressed seeds if there's no use? The answer is very simple, at least for Italy. It was not possible to find on the market the undressed seeds, the seeds of maize not dressed with these for insecticides. For this reason, I have a reflection. Maybe there are many other agricultural practices that are completely unuseful, but driven only by the lobbying of, it is maybe, agrochemical industries, for example. And maybe we are in a situation where really much of the pesticide residues that we find in our food is there just without any motivation.